Greetings, it's Sunday, the 26th of July. And just when you think maybe you'll take a break, somebody dies, and it's someone significant. So I'm here to just say a word about the passing of Peter Green, the man who basically started the band Fleetwood Mac. Amazing guitarist, rest in peace. He just passed away. Peter Green also wrote the hit Black Magic Woman. I had it out. Albatross is another great song of his. I have the 45. Classic rock song Oh Well from the Then Play On album. I have it on vinyl, but my vinyl version doesn't have Oh Well on it. So I just wanted to... Peter Green was a fantastic guitarist, much greater, in my opinion, than Eric Clapton when it comes to the English blues guitarist. Eric practiced hard and got his technique down, but when Peter played the blues, you felt it, as well as when he sang it. I mean, he had a lot of deep feeling. Interesting man. His story is interesting, you know. Schizophrenia took him out of the game for a while. His consummation of drugs didn't help, but he was back in the game before his passing. Great guitarist, Peter Green. I wanted just real quick. I'm not going to stay on long today. I know that you folks like to hear from me, and I like to touch base. I have the video, but I didn't watch it last night, but I listened to the Afro Punk CD compilation that goes along with it. You folks know about the Afro Punk documentary. When the filmmaker came, he brought it to Omaha and was doing screenings of it where he was present. And afterwards, we got to talking, and he apologized to me because he said, "I'm really sorry. You should have been in this." It's like I did not know about Omaha. This is really good, and Afro-punk is so necessary, you know, as a movement, as a recognition of it's just important. The thing that really stood out on here band-wise was the band McRad. McRad on here was the real highlight. Really good. Listen some more to Das Rad. I believe that's how I should be saying this, Das Rad. And this does have deep returns, deep dividends in returns by listening. This can only get better, too. Go on with your bad self, Martin Archer. I don't want to stay on too long, but I want to comment on something. Well, but a couple more records before I go, because I know that you like to hear about what I'm playing. R.E.M's last album, Collapse Into Now. I love this album. They went out strong. Michael Stipe said his upraised hand is him saying goodbye. Saying goodbye to everyone. Yes, I'm so happy that I got to open for R.E.M. on their Murmur tour. My band, Digital Sex. Unforgettable night. Stayed up almost all night partying with them, smoking and drinking, and dealing with flirtations from Michael. Great people, and I bonded with them in the next few times they came through Nebraska. I hooked up with them and partied with them, got backstage passes, the whole bit. Played this yesterday, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed listening to this. Wigwam Dark album. I used to have an original. For some dumb reason, sold it. Recently got this reissue with an extra album. Love this band. Highly recommend them. Progressive as well as just straight rock and country. Interesting mix. Last thing I want to say just in general about this world, which is just on the precipice of madness, is, again, the way that the media plays with information. I don't like it. So we have here in the New York Times and other publications like modern popular mechanics and stuff, where the Pentagon is talking about, well, we've been trying to back engineer, or we've been, looking at these craft from off world. Do I hear that there's bubbling talk about trying to see this whole undefined UFO thing as a potential threat now? What I don't like about this is I'm curious about the history of the planet and our universe. I, for one, take it for granted that there is life beyond what we see here. But what concerns me is it seems like everything is political. And so to trot out this information about UFOs or potential UFOs now, connecting it with the talk of a potential threat, to me just seems another way that Trump could use it to stay in power. Well, I started the Space Force, I gotta stay in. Well, we're facing a threat now and all the leaders have to... I can just see this. God, I hope that doesn't happen. Beyond that, I'm curious, we're never told what's really going on. I wish we could know what's going on with all of the extra activity beyond the main human activity that I'm familiar with. I'd like to know more. Assuming that we know everything, or that just because we don't see it, that it doesn't exist, is ridiculous.